Yeah, g'day guys, it's me again. I'm going to be holding on to the phone here because it's coming in and out of raining. I'm on the side of the river. I should have looked on the map. I am roughly 140 k's. Yeah, I think I'm about 140 k's from the end of the river. I've got to fess up a little bit right at the start. I bought a pack of smokes, I couldn't help it. Right, stopped off at Manham. I got a heap of food. I had to get oranges because I'm on the high seas. Got to stave off scurvy. So, it's just, I did get oranges, but it's just, yeah, it's something different. It's not so hot now that they're not going to last a little bit, so I'm having a couple of those every day as well now. So, baked beans still. I did get some steak yesterday lunchtime-ish. I cooked that on the town barbecue. I sat there and actually saw that Murray Princess come into, because after I seen you guys, those old people sat there and said, or after I said about it and showed you on the video on that old couple said they were going upriver, right? So I assumed that they were going up and staying for a few days, you know, just sort of travelling up and then make their way back to Manham. But what they'd done is must have just gone up, done a U-turn and come back down again, because they went past me a few hours later. They went past me about a few hours later, and just as I went past me, they were actually pulling into a park that it's probably, I'm not going to try and describe it. They just pulled into this park. It wasn't Manham. They pulled into this property that's sort of probably about 20 k's out of Manham, I'd say, roughly. Right, so they stayed there. They stayed there the night, and then and I stayed a lot further up. And then they happened to get into Manham the same time I did. They actually got into Manham, and I was actually able to watch them dock. I was quite a distance away, but I could see them. So these riverboat drivers, and you saw how the size of this thing. Oh, just pinpoint, absolutely pinpoint. And there's another one called Proud Mary. There's another one that's called Proud Mary, but it doesn't have the big paddle, the paddle wheel thing. It just must be just a motorised one, you know, with the propeller or something like that. And same thing, just pinpoint accuracy, mate. Just pull in and just slide up and just get the ropes in, and yeah, done. Absolutely brilliant to watch. Absolutely brilliant to watch. So he actually rocked up back to like the Murray Princess, which is the one we saw, actually pulled back into Manham the same time I did on the day after. The next day. So, which was yesterday. So yeah, so that's now I've been absolutely battered by even my boots are wet now. I've just done my washing. You can see it all hanging out there, and you'll see it on that side there as well. I did some washing today. It's probably not going to dry, but I'll stay here as long as it takes for them to dry now. I'm not going to go nowhere. I've just got to wait for them to dry, so I've got some clean clothes. I've had to wear, I was trying to stop every 3 days for a little bit longer than normal, and because we're getting good weather, yeah, they're usually dry by the end of the day, and if they weren't, so like on a day where I wanted to do washing, so every second or third day, probably every third day, I would sit there and stop about 2 or 3 hours earlier and use the sun to dry my clothes. Anything that wasn't dry properly, I'd just lie flat over the boat and just paddle down for a bit, you know. But most of the time it was dry, but it's not going to be the case today. Unless, because it is supposed to be clearing up today, but I don't know. It was quite nice earlier. It was really nice earlier, but it's turned to shit again, so just got to wait and see. But everything's clean. I haven't washed myself yet. I wanted to get the clothes out and done first, because I want to dry them off a little bit and let them drip dry for as long as possible. And then if they're dry by tonight, I might head off tomorrow. If they're not, then I'll stay here tomorrow. I'm not too worried. I've got enough food now. Oh, it's gone out. Waffling on. Sorry, I had to hold on to my phone now. I'll go outside and show you what I'm huddled under, just to try and stay dry. And it's not, I shouldn't even need to be under there, but it's also to stay out the wind. Yes. And I'll just make myself a little, so that's my clothesline. You can see my unmentionables, don't worry about them. Little parachutes. I should get that on the front. I should get them on the front of the canoe to get me down a bit quicker, like the old boy in his red kayak. So that's my little setup. I'm just huddled under there. That'll keep me dry, out the wind a bit, so I can do this video. I'm a little bit bored. I haven't washed myself yet. Wind's a little bit too cold for that. I'm not cold, but the wind is a little bit too cold for that sort of thing. So I'm able to stay under here. A little bit cozy, but it's better than sort of hiding in my tent. I was in my tent till about 9 o'clock, and it got it looked really, really sunny. So I thought, time to, because it did rain this morning a little bit, just a tiny splash, nothing major. And then decided to, once the sun got out, and because I watched the videos they did the other day, I haven't had a chance to watch those. I did waffle on a bit, but they'll do. I'm not gonna fix it up now. It'll give me an insight to, I suppose it'll give me an insight to the crap that I do when I'm paddling down, because it is really boring. Now, normally, with that crap, I've got music going as well, but obviously didn't hear that because of the, because I can't listen to music well, and I wouldn't do it anyway. Probably wouldn't hear me waffle on about my marvellous adventures. Just give me 2 seconds. I'm going to pause it for a sec. Sorry, I just had to blow my nose. Alright, so I'm hunting under here. Hopefully it doesn't rain again. Hopefully I actually don't need this, but I just thought I'd buck. It's the first time I put something like this up since I left Gunbow, and this actually was meant to be the original setup. So I'll go out and show you. Actually, I might make this the now it's not while it's not raining. I might make this the my overnight video. I was going to make it my what I did at Gunbow, but since I've actually showed you this stuff, I might as well keep going with it. All right, let's show you. I mean, it's not much; it's just camping. But so that's now I got rid of the wrong tarp. This is my small tarp under there, right? So as you can see, there's not a hell of a lot of room. I should have kept the medium and give the kids this small one, and that way I could have had just a little bit more room. But yeah, that's nothing major. Actually, this is, if you look that way, that's the first bit of blue sky. We had it about sort of 9:30 this morning, or 9 o'clock, 9:30 this morning when I first got up, and it was actually bright sunlight. That's why, I could see it sort of peering through my sort of tent. All right, let's show you. Now I've got rubbish all over the joint because I'm having to try and dry everything out and clean everything up. My bucket, that bucket there's the one I have down there. It was full of water. I've had to clean it out. Obviously, water bottle, can opener, stuff like that. Underarm deodorant and some bug spray type stuff. Packet of lollies. That's from like a couple of weeks ago. My breakfast, I'll clean that up later. But this is where I am. There's farmland over there, and the river this way. All right, I'll try and. I think I'm whizzing around too much for you. All right, so that's my front yard for the next day or so. I'll probably say, actually, if you have a look over that way, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it properly or not. I can't see the screen properly. You can't really see it properly, but if you have a look sort of in that triangle of trees there's a boat ramp, and I tried to stop there, but they actually had signs. They actually had signs saying no camping. Like, damn it. Because the morning before, I actually had to stay on a, no, it was actually yesterday morning. Well, the night before, yesterday morning when I woke up, I was actually camped on a proper boat ramp. No camping, right? There was no sign to say no camping, but one of the blokes going, mate, you can't really camp here. And it was actually later last night, or the night before, than it was the night before that when I did the videos and said that I got in at dark. This was literally after dark, right? I had a nice big bright white moon, so I could sort of see where I was going, but it's still very dangerous, very, very dangerous to be on the river without lights. So as you can imagine, it's quite dark, and I'm very low. I'm not very big. I mean, I'm a decent size crossways, but I don't poke out the water too much. So I could probably just. I suppose the good thing is it might look like a stump or something. So anyway, last night I got in quite early. Last night I think I got in at about sort of 5 o'clock-ish, 4:30, 5 o'clock. So I set up and just sat there and just played my games and sort of really relaxed, because it has really been a hard night these last 2.5 days. It's the hardest I've had to work, and I'm glad throughout the thing I didn't choose to use my motor too much, right? Because without sounding stupid or anything like that, it probably gave me the strength and the paddling strength, to actually be able to sort of make it through, because it's quite a tough gig, a very, very tough gig to get through what I got through. I was going to go up to this roadway. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be camping here. Looks like other people do. I don't even know if this is private property. Smoke's gone out again, doesn't matter. Here we go. Anyone that knows me knows what a Kenny steak is, and there's a few steaks over there. Have a look at that. That's a Kenny steak, mate. That is a Kenny steak, that's a whole cow. Just a bit of a roadway sort of deal. I know there's a house up that way somewhere. I was saying it, but I was going to try and pull up a bit earlier. Yeah, there's a fence there. I can see a fence there. So this might not be private property then. I might be okay here. Because there is a campfire there next to where my tent is. I don't know if you saw it or not. A little bit of a creek running along just... A little bit of a creek just running along the edge there, as you can see. It looks like it's fenced off from the cows, so the cows can't access it. I've got this one fly that's annoying me. But nice farmland. Look at that, also a few more Kenny steaks over there. And they don't make much noise during the day. Oh, they don't stop. At any one time, there's about 3 or 4, maybe 5 cows mooing, like mooing loudly. So, you don't hear them during the day. Look, I haven't heard them too much, but at night time, they're really going nuts. There's a couple really close to the fence there. It might be steak tonight. The steaks I've been buying haven't been Kenny steaks either. The type I've been buying, they're like the sandwich steaks, so I need about 8 of those to make a Kenny steak. Alright, actually, so that's my campsite. Let's do a proper video of the campsite itself, I suppose. Right, so that's what it looks like. I've got to face it now. Normally I'd rather be facing the river, but the wind is coming from the river, so I've actually got my back to it, which I don't like, but that's just the way it has to be if I want to hide from it. It's mainly if it rains. The wind's got a bit of a chill factor to it, but it's not too bad. Obviously that's my tent. I've got to clean everything up. I'm just trying to get everything dry. That's my canoe parked on the side there. Now I'm going to pull this table off when I do actually I should have done it now. I'm going to pull this table off and tip it off to the side, because even when it's sitting flat in the water, it's tipping to one side. So I reckon that table, if you have a look here, it's not a lot of space. I've had a look, but it's probably just enough to, if you have a look there, there's a hole there for the clamps, and you can see, if I get close enough, you can see there's just a little hole, a little gap there. So that's where it's sort of like moulded. I think they call it vacuum moulding or something like that, to be able to sort of mould it in like what they call a dye. So I'm going to pull that off later and sort of empty, see if it's got any water in it. I might have to try and put a hole in that corner there. See if I can burn a hole through that corner there somehow. And then just tip it on its end and just see how much water comes out. I'll do a video for that. And I'll join it onto the end of this one and see what happens. I won't do it now. Alright, let's have a look in here. So, got my tent, got the zip up open. Alright, so I've got a few things in here. I pulled that out because I knew I was going to be stuck here for a little while, so I took it out the canoe. Normally I don't do that for an overnighter. Normally the only things I bring out for an overnighter is that box there, maybe that bag, if we're going to be eating food for the night. Now I've got bread, oranges, like I said, scurvy. I've got and the towels. You can see the hole in the bottom of the bucket. You can imagine what that's for. I use it with that that paper, and I've got a shovel in the canoe. Alright, let's have a look in here. Yeah, everything's still pretty much wet. Oh, sorry, I'm tripping over things. Alright, so you can see how bad my mattress looks. That's because it's getting wet. It's really, really bad now. That's obviously my sleeping bag. I'm still not using the sleeping bag as I'm still not using a sleeping bag as a sleeping bag yet. I'm just using it as a blanket, like a blanket. As you can see, I've got some chocolates there, and I've got some lollies. So I went out last night. It's been a tough couple of days, so I got the oranges, but I've got a couple of things, a couple of torches there. So that's how I set up my tent. As you can see, they're the towels I use for my seat. I have to rejig them to be able to use them for a pillow as well, right? To be able to, because the pillow on this thing, that's the pillow there, and it's got like a valve, so you can see the valve there. It's got that there, but that doesn't work anymore. So, and even the valves, I think I told you this is a self-inflating mattress, and the valves on that is knackered too, so I just leave it open now. It's got foam inside, so it still takes the bumps out, and underneath I have a yoga mat as well. Alright, it's closed. Alright, now, I think I explained in one of the videos, what I'm having to do now when I sleep is leave that front door open, and that's all I did last night actually. I just left that front door open. I think that's all I need to do, because if it rains overnight, I don't have to try and get out and close it back up. All I was doing, what I've had to do twice now I think, is leave the front open, and then just not nail down the back at all, because this here is meant to sort of nail in and hold down. What I've been doing is just sort of leaving it open like that. Leave it open like that so the air goes straight through. Now, I'm probably not going to do that anymore, because one, it lets a whole lot more cold air in. Yeah, it'll blow through like a tunnel. So I think I'm better off just leaving that down and have the front open. That'll be enough. Because what's happening is, when I'm breathing it in and out, hot air's getting out, and you've got the cold air on the inside. And anyone might think, oh, that's just craziness. But it literally feels like it's raining. Even in my big tent, like it is, it's like got a floor size of I think it's 2.4 by 2.6, right? And it's about 1.9 high, I think. 1.9 high, but then it sort of goes down on a bit of an arc sort of thing, right? So, but that's how big the inside of the tent is. And just with the condensation of my body heat and breathing and all that sort of stuff, the condensation is on when you rub the top, like your hand's drenched. So and that's a big tent. That's a massive tent. Imagine this one here, with the same body in it, but just a lot smaller space. So it does make a big difference. So as opposed to, you've got this thing here, like I was going to say, oh no, that's right. It's got this thing here, it's supposed to let air in and out, but like, I mean, you can see, it's not going to let much in, eh? And it's made so it stays open. I'm an idiot. It's made so it actually stays open, so they've done a good job of it, but you've got to keep that front door open a bit, at least. I didn't do it, I kept it, I dropped the back down last time. Last night I dropped the back down and made it just as you see it there. I didn't peg it down. I just left it down and just left the front door open. And that did enough. I kept checking it and it didn't feel like it was getting any condensation on the inside. So that's enough. And I did that mainly so if it did start raining overnight, I didn't have to try and get out and peg it down. You know what I mean? I should be pegging it down, but I wouldn't have had to have gone out to drop it down, back down onto the ground. So that's my site. Now obviously that's where I've washed my clothes. That there is, that's my actual clothesline there. But because I mucked around with this thing here, that rope is long enough to be able to go across to hold the actual tarp up and then go back across to make a clothesline. So that's all I've done with this. That's just the setup I've got. It's actually pretty good. I don't know if that's the setup I would have had on my main one. If I'd done this setup without the big tent, because this pretty much how you see it now is how it was meant to be to start off with before I bought the big tent. So I'll try and get back a bit and show you, get away from a bit and try and show you. I've got a nice little alcove here actually, so you can see that there and that there. Now what I would have rather have had is that pointing to the river, so I can actually see out and have like a decent view of the river. Every spot I chose when I had my big tent had to be maybe able to turn it around and look over the river. So I always tried to find a spot, whether it was not so much overnighters. Overnighters I didn't care about too much, but anywhere, any place I went to that I knew I was going to be there for at least a week, I had to be facing it. So that way, the river would have to, if I had to go for something, I went for something, but what my preference was to be facing northeast, so that the southeast wind would be over the back of me, coming over the top, so I could hide behind my tent, similar to what I'm doing here on that, on that, right? So the wind would come over the back of me, and my tent would protect me from the wind, all right? And that's how I sort of tried to do it when I was stopped at different places for any period of time. The only time I didn't do that, and I didn't think of it, was Yarrawonga, and it just turned out that I think I was actually facing north, so it didn't actually end up being too bad. But I did sort of get in, and that's what made me think that I had to be opposite southwest, so I had to be facing northeast, so that the wind wouldn't swell too much around and send too much. I've got my boat pegged up a bit. That's my overnight thing. So I've got a little bit more out now. This is not more. This is more than just an overnighter. Only because it's been raining. Look at all the mud. This is. I'll clean this out later. But let's have a look at this. I'll zoom in a bit. So look at all that mud there, and all that mud there. That's because I haven't been able to clean it out for about a week, and obviously getting in and out of the the canoe sends mud in. The cleanest spot is actually where all the water, where I've been bailing the water out. What I did do yesterday is to make ballast. Now, just give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna blow my nose again. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I can't remember what I was saying before I did this. Actually, I was trying to think before I started playing. I can't remember. But yeah, cleaning the canoe out. I normally clean that out sort of every second time I stop, basically. But I haven't been able to. I haven't actually stopped like the clothes, because I've been changing my jocks and socks, regularly. Like I've got, it should be 3 and 3, I'd reckon. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so I've got three pairs of each there, but I've only got one actual change of clothes up there because I didn't really want to change to another set of clothes while I was still getting wet. While it was still raining, still getting wet and all that sort of stuff, because I might not have been able to dry these clothes in time. Although I do have another change of clothes in mine. I've even got, I don't pull that out, but that there is, that's got my, let's get back here, out here a bit. That's got my clothes. That's the soap I use to clean my clothes with. And that's my, that's actually my, what do you call it? Toiletries box. Now, it looks quite big, but you got to remember that this was meant for 12 months. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, come on. There we go. Alright. So inside there I've got 2 mirrors. Now the reason I've got 2 mirrors is because I've been clipping my hair. Anyone that sort of, I've got like a crew cut type sort of thing, so it's easy to, all I have to do is just clip it and wash it with soap. So basic stuff, I'm not going to go into it too much. I've got the big trimmers there, so that's the red thing. You can see out the shadow every now and again. And inside there are the crew cut clippers. And that's one of the things I wanted. Oh man, what's happened here? What's happened here? I hope it's not actually broken. I'll check that out later. The beard trimmers, the trimmer bit actually is broken off the actual handle. If it's broken, it's broken. Doesn't matter. I was going to try and clean it all up today, but if I can't, I can't. I'll just use a pair of scissors. Yeah, so I've got toothpaste there, asthma pumps and all that sort of stuff. Nail clippers. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, I had just washed my clothes, so I can't really. But nails, everything still looks normal. I've been doing all right to sort of keep myself reasonably not smelling. I wouldn't say I'm completely hot. Sorry, I'll just put my phone down for a sec while I pat this back up a little bit. I wouldn't say that I am extremely clean, but for being out in the bush for 5 months, I don't think I've done too bad. I'm really happy with how I'm travelling. Now, it's going to sound disgusting, but while I was at Gumbower, actually no, I won't explain that right now. I'll explain that in the Gumbower trip thing. Alright, give me 2 seconds, I'll spin it around. Alright, yeah. Oh, it keeps going out. I'll keep waffling on. Yeah, so I sit there and that's my, what do you call it, my toiletries box. So, like I said, it was meant to be for 12 months. I wanted to keep, that's right, it was going to be quite disgusting, but when I was cleaning, actually I wasn't going to say it, but anyway, when I was cleaning my stuff at Gumbower, my jocks and socks and all that sort of stuff, every time I went to put them on, I didn't smell them when I was, it sounds disgusting, I know, but I was smelling to make sure they actually smelled clean, right, because I know I'm going to look like a bag of shit, but I didn't want to smell. I didn't want to smell like, a homeless person, I suppose. Now, I know I'm going to look like it. I mean, even now, I'm this is a little bit sort of, because normally, at home, I wash my goatee every day, every single day. Reasonably clean shaven, not perfectly clean shaven most of the time. There was a time I grew a decent sized beard, but I keep it as a gradient. I try and keep it reasonably neat. Now, it's not perfectly neat, but I try and keep it reasonably neat. You know, and yeah, so I want to try and keep doing the same thing. Now, what else? Overnighters. What haven't I explained? Just give me 2 seconds. I might pause it for a bit, and I will think about what else I need to add. This is the first time I've done this shelter for an overnighter. Kind of glad I did it now. It's not overly, I mean, you can see I'm still in a t-shirt, so it's not overly cold thing. Not an overly cold day, but it is still not the warmest either. So I'm kind of glad I'm able to hide from the wind a bit. Just give me 2 seconds, I'll try and think. Yeah, I've had to think, I can't think of anything else. I mean, basically it's just camping. I pull over, get out, set my tent up, and all that sort of stuff. But you can see what I normally do. So normally I only had the tent and the box and the bucket with the sleeping gear in it. So when I pull over for a normal night, I only take 5 things out. That's the bucket, my bedroll, my tent, my sleeping bag, I thought it was 5 things. Oh, my chair. And my chair to sit down and have a break at the end. So it's only 5 things. So it's only 5 things I've got to pack up in the morning. So setting up in the morning only takes about sort of packing up. It's half an hour each, really. Half an hour to 40 minutes each. Setting up and packing up. Because it's really... In fact, setting up's a little bit quicker probably than packing up because that's a little bit... The tent takes longer because you've got to roll it up properly. And actually, it's a pretty good tent. The bag is actually quite forgiving. You don't have to absolutely have it perfectly rolled up to be able to get it back in the bag. And same with the sleeping bag. Sleeping bag, as long as you do it, take your time with it. You know, you don't have to be absolutely meticulous with it, but you've got to take a little bit of time with it. But you do both of those, and they're a lot better than what they used to be. Usually it's the other way around. Everything's really crap now, but like that tent, I've got a little bit of give and take to sit there and not have it rolled up perfect. Oh, I'd like to roll it up perfectly just because, oh yeah, did it right. You know? But the big tent, which I'll go through with the gunbow trip, that was a tough one. You had to have that absolutely perfect to get it back in the bag. It was a lot quicker to set up than this hiking tent, but took a hell of a lot longer to pack up because you had to have it absolutely perfect. That bag was not forgiving. Right? You had to do it perfect. I think because it's such a bulky thing, they force you to do that so it wouldn't take much space in your camping equipment, you know, on top of your roof rack or in a trailer or something like that. I think that's why they did it. Boo, boo, boo. It seems like I think my voice isn't following the... I think if I press pause too often in the videos, my voice goes out of sync with the camera, and I think I can see it here. I can hear myself talking, but my mouth's afterwards. Freaking spewing. Because I press pause too often. I noticed it when I was at Gunbow when I was doing the original videos, because I kept pausing to fix things up or do something and then go back to show you and whatever. So I'll watch this video straight away. If it's like that, then I might have to redo it. Boo, boo, boo. I don't know, it's really weird. I'll probably have to listen to it and watch it. I think that's about it. Like I said, I'm just pulling over camping every night, so it's not much to show you, but people are going to be interested. You actually get to see it now. And this is actually I've got one more. I might have one more thing to show you. I don't really want to do it in case it's going to mess up the video, but yeah, I'll show you this because I'm going to probably do a couple of updates because it's getting tough now. It's getting really, really tough. This is where I thought it was going to get hard, and it is really getting hard. Now, I think it's a little bit harder than what it should have been because of all the speedboats I've had over the last 3 days. But, so I think I'm a little bit more knackered because of that, because every time a speedboat goes past, I almost come to a complete stop. I've got to start paddling again and try and get the canoe moving again. Now, what I did do, and I forgot to finish explaining, I think. I'm not going to pause it again. There's not much left, but this is going to be like hen's teeth now. I don't have a whole lot of cash. It's like, now I am acting like a homeless person. I knew I was going to smoke again. I had no doubt. Yeah, even though I hadn't smoked for about 4 months when I seen Daniel, 4.5 months when I seen Daniel, I had a smoke, and that was it. Alright, let's go. Let's have a look at this. Now, what I had to do, and it has helped a lot. It has helped a lot, because every time my bow went up, the wind would take it and want to turn me around, right? Because the bow was out of the water. Now, because there's a lot more weight in the back than the front, that was happening all the time. But what I did do is I've actually got, that's all fresh water. So at Manama I was able to fill up with fresh water that bottle there and that bottle there. And I've got all my tins of food up the front, right? So everything heavy, I've got up the front to try and weigh the bow down. And I tell you what, today at lunchtime-ish, and 10 times better. Like, I am tracking a lot straighter, so, because I think what's happening, because the bow wasn't quite in the water properly, there's not water on each side to stop it from sort of pushing that way and that way. It'll go round that way, but it doesn't, the wind can't actually push it that way as easily now, which is what was happening. It was wanting to turn me sideways. If I didn't track perfectly straight and keep moving perfectly straight, then the second I slowed down, then I would sit there and the wind would start pushing it around. But because I've got all that water at the front, and what I'll start doing is, I don't know how I'm going to do it as I take water out, because I'm obviously going to need to drink that water, so that'll make it lighter and lighter and lighter. I should have kept a couple of soft drink bottles to try and keep the weight up the front, because I'm going to need it. It's added 20 kilos, which I was going to need anyway for water, right? But I was only going to do a 10 litre bottle, just, you know, mainly because I was going to be lazy and not trying to get to the front bottle, that blue one, because that clear one actually sat behind my seat here. So when I pulled into the bank every morning, it was easy to get to fill up my actual water bottle, my blue water bottle, which is around here somewhere. Oh yeah, that's my water bottle there next to the can opener. So it's just a normal water bottle. So every morning during the summer, I'd have to fill it up a couple of times, which is why I had it up that end. So while I'm on the river, I could just make a stop, and just stand up, pull that bottle out, top up my water bottle, and do it. But now I don't have to do that anymore. One bottle is enough for a day. I might stop somewhere and get, I had to buy another bottle of soft drink. Damn it. Shit. God damn it. And then have that as with water in the front as well. If it gets, because I reckon I'm still going to have some quite warm days, but it's going to be a lot cooler days now. Like, this has been like overcast like this for like 3 days now. So I can't imagine getting too much more. Tonight I might actually look, sorry, I didn't want to pause it again in case it does go out of sync with my voice. Alright, I'm going to show you something else. Where's my thing? I'm going to show you something else now, just while I've got this video going, because it's part of the main trip of the overnighters now. Alright, now I've got to make sure I get the right book out, because I'll go back under the coverway, and I might close this tent off a bit. I'll leave it open to get the fresh air through. I'm on to map. Yep, that's the one there I need, I think. Murray Mouth, yep. Alright, so let's do this. I'll close the tent off in case it rains while I'm under the tent. It does feel like it's, there's freaking, I hate these zips on these things, they always get caught. Oh, I've got to get the lid back on there. Just give it 2 seconds, sorry. I'm just mucking around with this thing. I've got to get the tent done up, and it's gotten caught. It's one of these things that the tent opens up really easily from the inside, but it doesn't open up and close up very easily when you do it from the outside for some reason. I don't know what the deal is. Alright, so I'm going to show you my map book. I'll probably have to do it on my knees underneath this thing out of the wind. so I don't flip the pages around. But I'm going to show you what I have to do at the end. Now, I don't know if I'm actually going to go to the actual river mouth. I'll show you in the map. Alright, so let's just give me 2 seconds. I've got to find the page. Actually, let's see if I can find the front page. Alright, yep, that's probably the better one to show you actually. So, I'm going to spin it around to show you the map. Alright, so I'll use my spoon. Haven't actually cleaned it off properly yet, but obviously the river is, this is a book, right? So it's quite a good book, right? This page here is the main area that you're paddling in, and those squares, so you've got a square there, and a square there, and a square there, they're the different pages, right? So at the moment, the blue one, oh no, I'm not on a particular page, but I think I'm on page 3. So I'm sitting about there somewhere. Actually, I think I might be down there. Actually, I think I'm on page 4. I think I might be down there. I can't remember now. But I'm sort of in there somewhere, right, at the moment, right? So I've still got to go all the way down there, through Murray Bridge, through Tailem Bend. Now, I've been to Tailem Bend before. I went to Adelaide with one of my mates, Dutchy, and we went past Tailem Bend. Didn't have to cross over the river. Actually, oh no, because yeah, we crossed over the river here, because there's a ferry there. We sat and watched the ferry, going backwards and forwards while we had a rest and a coffee, I think. Now, I'm going to get down to here, so we get to Wellington, and then that's what I've got to get across, right? Now, that actually is, now if you have a look there, where's the, oh yeah, down here. So that's 30 centimetres, that's 30 kilometres, right? So let's get the spoon and do that. So that's 30 kilometres there. So I've got 30 kilometres to get across there. Now, I do 30 kilometres in a day, so I can't go directly straight across anyway, even if I wanted to, right? But what I'm going to have to do, because I get a lot of southwesterlies, which is sort of in that direction, I'm going to have to sort of go across here and hug this. So I'm going to have, so if I get, that's still 30, so around there, and then hopefully I'll be able to cut straight across there. So I'm going to add about 20 k's to my trip there, trying to get round that bay. Alright, and Goolwa is right in the back corner there. So now what you have to do, I think, is, I'll have to have a look, because I think, I'm not really sure where the actual Murray Mouth is. Let's have a look on the page 16. Page 16, let's have a quick look. I'll show you. Let's have a look. Let's learn together. I did have a look at it once, but I can't remember what it looked like. So that's page 14. So as you can see there, that's 72 kilometres from the end, right? They look a lot closer together than some of the other ones, but that's because it's a different scale, right? So 1 kilometre. So I'm going to have to go out through here, and along there, right, and this is why I got out, because there's not much wind here, right, go out and around there, and I'll probably, depending on what time of the day I get through, I'll probably have to stop there overnight, then I'll stop over here overnight, then I'll stop on page 17, so let's go to page 17, so that's page 16. Now I think, so on page, so that's page, because it doesn't actually say anywhere in this book that it is the Murray Mouth. Nowhere in the book does it say Murray Mouth. So I'm just trying to see the page. I just want to explain to you. So that's Goolwa there, so it's quite a big town, right? And you go down to there, so map 19. So it goes to there, right? Now that's a barrage, I think. So I think you have to go through a lock there. So I don't know if I'm going to want to do that, because I have to go down and then back up again. Oh, I wonder if that's a barrage as well. So it says there, information on lock opening times can be obtained from the lockmaster at blah blah blah. So there must be a lock there. I don't know how that works. There is no vehicle access to the barrages linking the islands between Pelican Point and Goolwa. So that's, I think that's there. I think they're talking about that bit there. And right, so you got, so I think you got a barrage there, and then you got a barrage there. So hopefully I can get in there. I don't know. I'll see when I get there. Should be right. I'll work it out. So that's, yeah, so I'm going to have to sit there and hug that whole coastline around there to be able to get through, because it's 30 kilometres there, and I don't think there's any chance at all, if we've got a southwesterly, which is going to come across this way here, I don't think I'm going to get across. And I'm still even worried looking at that, because that's the book, right? So I had the book straight with me and with the camera. So that's southwest going that way. in sort of that direction there, heading upwards of the page and upwards of the phone. So as you can see, I want to hug the coastline so that I can try and get as much. Well, one because I need to, because it's just I'm not going to make it across that lake. Even if I start first thing in the morning, I'm never going to make it across that lake with headwinds. Even without headwinds, and without any chop, I could make it across in one day reasonably easily, especially with the motor, right? But yeah, I'm going to have to go around, so I'm going to add 20 k's. So I'm saying I've got 140 k's, I've got 160 k's, I think. But it still doesn't change the number of days I think it's going to take me. Yeah, I might have an extra 20 k's to travel, going around instead of across. But I don't think it's changed the actual number of days. I still think it's going to take me 2 weeks, including going around there. Yeah, so see what happens. Yeah, I don't know about trying to get to the Murray Mouth and how these barrages work, because I don't think it gets wrong. Because I think they're meant to stop the ocean water getting too far into inland and making it like brackish water. I'm not 100% sure how it works. So I might try and find someone at Murray Bridge and see if I can ask them. I sort of need to think about that actually. I didn't really give that a second thought until I didn't really think about it much at all until I started sort of talking on the camera and sort of having it listen to it through my head and through the camera. And I sit there and go, oh, hang on, what's going to happen here? So, I don't know, it's just going to be one of those things. It's gone overcast again. It looks like it is going to rain again. It does look like it's going to rain again. As you can see, it's gotten really dark under here. I think I'll be here for 2 days. I don't think I'll be leaving tomorrow. I think I'll be leaving, 2 whole days, I mean. I'll be here all day today. I'll be here all day tomorrow. And I'll probably head off the next morning. My clothes should be dry by then. If it's not, then I'm having really bad weather. It might be 3 or 4 weeks before I get there. But I've got time. Yeah, I'm literally 6 months ahead of schedule. I've now been on the river for 5.5 months. So I'm at 5.5 months now. So yeah, cool. That's it. That's my site. That is what's in front of me. I'm still 140 k's from the end of the river, but it still might be, if I can't get to the actual Murray Mouth, it probably still will be 140 k's then, because the Murray Mouth is quite a fair bit past Goolwa. So if I go to the Murray Mouth itself, it's going to add, because I've got to go to the Murray Mouth and then back to Goolwa again, because that's my best bet to try and sell my gear and get home from Goolwa. So that will add probably close to a week to it. So if I do go to the actual Murray Mouth, I've probably got closer to a month. Just headwinds and chop and all that sort of stuff. And that's, I am really, really, really worried about going around and getting on Lake Alexandrina, because I just think it's going to be really, really open. If it's really, really open, which it kind of looks like it will be on that map, because, if you have a look, oh, that's rain. Damn it. If you have a look, just give me 2 seconds. I'm here still. Let's go back to page 13. That's page 16, page 13. Right. So I'll show you that. Suppose it's not really worth showing you that today. Yeah, nah. You can see by the thing, it's like 40 k's across, 40, 45 k's across. Yeah, so like 2 Goolwa itself, but 30 k's of open ocean basically for me in a canoe. I'm not like this old guy. And the difference with the old guy is water goes over the top of him, it's not going to get into his boat. Water goes over the top of me, it gets in my boat, and I'm going to get weighed down. You know what I mean? So and because the back is heavier, most of the water's actually going to want to run to the back. So the back will get heavier and heavier and heavier. And I'm not going to have enough, I don't think I'm going to have enough time to keep bailing out the water and paddle at the same time. Yeah, I just, yeah, a little bit worried about this. But that's part of the trip. I want to make it. I'm going to have a crack at it. I'm going to have a really good crack. I'm going to try and do it without the motor. I think I'm going to need the motor. I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not going to sit there and say I'm going to do it easy. I think most people know I won't be able to do it easy, but I think most people won't know that I may not get there without using the motor. That's it. That's this video I'm done with. I think I've covered everything. I'm going to watch it. If the voice has gone out of sync, I'm probably not going to redo it. I've explained too much in this, and I know I might end up doing it. I've got quite a few hours worth of videos all up. I did waffle on with the last few videos badly, but that just gets that's how I think. That's what I've been doing on the river. I think most people know I'm a bit of an idiot, bit of a clown. But yeah, that's the sort of the only difference is I didn't have music in the background, and I'm on record again as saying that's what's got me through yesterday. Sitting there bopping away. If a shit song came on, normally when a shit song comes on, I just let it go. But yesterday, I just sat there and had every chance I got. If it was a shit song, I'd skip it to a good song, just to push me through the what do you call it? Just to keep me going, push me through. So I have absolutely no doubt that music has saved this trip for me. I would have been home by now, I reckon. I really think I would have been home by now. Alright, I'm going to hang up and I'll watch this. Then I might do the either redo this one or just go into the Gumbio one. Alright, thanks for watching.